went so heavy into dance music when I found out about it. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, because it was so new and like unlike anything I had really heard before. I was studying science in university.
Oh, what type?
I was studying physics, maths and chemistry.
Oh, wow.
And then I dropped out. And I found it really difficult to actually explain most of my ideas most of the time. And I think that's why I just ended up doing them, because I was like, I can't tell you what I want to see, so I'll just make it.
Hi, today I'm here with Eden.
Hey, what's up?
So we were just talking that you're also Eurasian like I am.
Yeah.
Like your dad's from Hong Kong and your mom's Irish?
Yeah,
or?
My mom was from Ireland, yeah.
Did your dad like
move
to...
his like parents and all his siblings and stuff all moved to Ireland when he was like 13 or something.
Wow.
So unfortunately that meant I actually don't know any Chinese, but so my dad met my mum in Dublin in Ireland. And
you know what made him move? Because I feel like it's so uncommon to move from Hong Kong to Ireland. I don't really know many people who did that.
I know his dad was he'd worked in London, and he was kind of just looking for somewhere to move for just jobs and like better prospects, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I think one of my grandfather's like relatives or something started a restaurant in Dublin, and then asked him to come to Dublin. So then he brought his whole family to Dublin.
Yeah.
That's how it worked out.
Do you still feel like you have much connection to your like Asian side?
For sure. I go to my granny's house like every weekend for some amazing food. So definitely, yeah.
How do you think being like mixed identity made you the person you are now?
It was interesting growing up for sure. But I don't really. It's not something I hugely think about. I guess. Culturally, like, my family was quite different to a lot of the people I grew up with. So like a lot of my best friends from home and stuff who have like it's just a slightly different background and I guess perspective on things. Like my dad in Ireland, which used to be such a religious country, like my dad wasn't.
Right.
And I guess there's like certain just cultural differences, like, you know, the almost stereotypical emphasis on academia and being like an academic for like Asian households, mixed with, I guess, whatever it is Irish people do. Eat, drink and eat potatoes or whatever you want to say. But like, I think I mean, it's not something I would ever change. I love the way I was brought up and my family is great. So, yeah. Although it's weird because it's not something I've already think about.
It's interesting because I've actually interviewed a bunch of Eurasians, probably like more than 10. And
Really?
Some of them have like identity problems or problems with like fitting in.
No, I know, I mean, there's always kind of issues, like I know there's certain things growing up, but I think when you're small, at least for me and my siblings, like if like one of my siblings might have had a bad experience once, but it's like it was always when we were quite young and that past the age of like 10 or 12, like didn't really notice anything that different. Which is good. I know a lot of people are less fortunate and not have come into like, you know, issues because they're, you know, a mixed person. Yeah.
And since you were young, your parents kind of like put you into doing music, like classically trained.
Yeah. My parents put me and all my siblings actually into music classes when we were quite young. Kind of was just like, there was this one introductory class that we all did, and then I was like, pick an instrument. And for some reason I chose the violin. Yeah. And they're like, okay, now you're a violinist. And
so each of you did different instruments, like your brother picked something else?
Yeah, so my older brother picked the flute, my little brother picked the piano, and my little sister then also picked the piano, but decided she didn't like it and now plays the cello. Yeah. Which was cool. Like I hated it at the time. It felt like torture. They're like, oh, you need to practice like 10 minutes or something. Yeah. Run away and not want to do it. But I mean, it got me an introduction to music. Because for as long as I could remember, I would just sing to the radio. I mean, before I even knew it was like people sang words, I was just singing weird noises because that's what it sounded like to me. Like different odd syllables. But so that showed me, I guess I figured out that I like music. I love music. Yeah. More so than just singing, and it's more so than I'm a good violinist or guitar player or piano player or singer. I feel like I'm better at music than anything, any one part of it, or one instrument.
Yeah. Do your parents do instruments as well, or are they like
no, neither
creatively inclined?
But I don't. But I feel like I'm really, really. When I think of like how my parents were brought up and the situations that they grew up in, like I'm so blessed compared to them. So I feel like they probably would be like quite good at music, or if they had gotten the exposure or were just able to do it.
What careers were they in then, or no?
Well, my dad was in pharmaceuticals, and my mom was a lecturer, or I can't remember. She was basically either a computer tech, but she also lectured, I think, and then became a stay-at-home mom.
Oh wow! So you were, I guess, like all the music stuff was just like from you. You didn't really have any relatives
who
were like guiding you or anything.
No. Yeah, exactly. Or at one point I stole my auntie's and uncle's guitar, which they didn't even play. I don't know why they had one, but when I wanted to learn guitar, I wanted to buy one, and my parents were like, "Oh, we don't even know if you like one," so we borrowed my auntie's and uncle's. That's pretty cool, actually. There's literally a rooster.
I know. It's so funny.
But yeah, so we borrowed the guitar.
Yeah.
And almost never gave it back for a few years. And it was weird because I got the guitar and I just, like, one of my friends was like, "It's funny, you just dove straight into the deep end." I would just literally play the thing for like 3 hours a day.
Damn.
Whereas in stark contrast to me not wanting to practice violin for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And you were in some bands, right?
Yeah, so just me and my friends from school used to play music together. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but I'm such a, I guess, a control freak when it comes to how I write music. That eventually I learned, you know, when the explosion of, I guess, dance music happened, I figured out, oh my god, all these people make all of this on a computer, and I don't need the rest of the band or the rest of the orchestra to like make things. So that's what I started doing. I just did it by myself.
Can you describe what the early band music that you made sounded like?
I don't know. We actually, thinking back to it, a similar problem I have now is we just could never describe what it was.
Yeah.
Because we all grew up listening to just such a wide range of music, from like pop punk to like classic rock, or like 80s like hair metal, or to like screamo and like heavy metal and shit. It was really a wide range of influences. I have no idea what you call it.
What did your parents play in the house?
Music-wise?
Yeah.
My dad said he loved classical music when he was growing up, but he never really played much in the house. I don't think my mum has like very strong musical like opinions or tastes either, so I don't think we really played much other than like a Now 46 CD that I would buy, or whatever's on the radio. Oh, but I think they did get me into, do you know this like boy band called Westlife?
Yeah.
That was like my first big music, like, oh my god, I love Westlife, when I was like 6 or 5. So you can blame them for that. Or also, actually, to be fair, they got me to like Michael Jackson, Queen too.
Oh.
So that was cool.
Yeah. How do you describe yourself growing up?
Me? I guess energetic. Like my parents would always like struggle to keep up with. I guess when you have siblings too, you're always just running around and doing like kind of crazy shit.
Yeah.
So, I luckily found school kind of easy. So for a long time I didn't really need despite
to study.
So despite my parents saying like, oh, you need to work for this test, you need to do this, I'd always like never really. I would kind of do other things, so that's how I got to spend so much time just like playing music. I just wouldn't kind of do schoolwork and still do okay at school, and so not have people on my back, which is cool.
What were your favorite subjects back then?
I really liked science, like physics and maths. I like, I guess, figuring things out. It was, I don't know, for me, those were really interesting. I can't just like learn a fact. like I like understanding things. So at least in school, those are the subjects that I guess gave me the most of that.
Yeah. And then was Eden Project your first moniker, like as a solo?
As a solo person, yeah. I basically just went so heavy into dance music when I found out about it. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool, because it was so new and like unlike anything I had really heard before. It was big and epic and all these cool sounds. So I just started putting music on the internet under the Eden Project for years, just for free. And I didn't even tell my friends I was doing it.
What?
Like I wouldn't like post on Facebook being like, oh yeah, check out my new song or some shit. It would just be, I just put it there.
What was the reason behind that?
I just really hate the idea of either like, I guess, forcing people to listen to stuff. So like, or you know, like really invasive like advertising on Facebook. You might scroll past like a band that you don't like and they're like, listen to our new single. I'm like, no. Keep scrolling. So there's that, and also I don't like, and I guess there's this culture of like banter, but like in school, like people give each other like shit just all the time for things they like to do, and whatever just goes. And it felt way more serious to me than that. So I just didn't want to talk about it. Yeah. If you like the music, you like the music. You can listen to it if you want, but I don't want to talk about it. Or I didn't want to talk about it.
But then in Dublin, like back then, was the scene even electronic, or were you just kind of like in your own world?
I didn't even know there was a scene, because it's not something that like I built up a fan base by playing a lot of like live shows. It was more just the music was available online for people to find and share. So I didn't even know there was a scene, and there still kind of isn't. What is emerging in Ireland now, though, is like a really cool kind of hip hop scene. Which is nice to see, because I didn't have like a bunch of other artists like me that I knew of in Dublin. And now I see like other like subcultures, like, or subgenres of music, I guess, just have like a crew, and they're like putting on their own like events, and they're like creating their own like press. So like there wasn't really any cool like magazines, and now there is, and it's like it's exciting. It's really cool to see.
What would you say would be the beginning stages of getting like even Eden Project just out there?
I just put out a lot of music. So I remember like the exams you take to like leave school, and I guess it's the equivalent of the SATs here. But you only get to take them once, and they're all at the same time at the end of the year.
It's so stressful.
And instead of studying for that, I put out a song every Monday for like 8 weeks in a row. So it's things like that, and then YouTube was really important, because I didn't even have a YouTube channel, but all these promotional channels that will like share musicians' work. I guess one of them would find it, and then the other people would find it from the one guy, and they are so supportive and helpful for me, because it kind of changed the listenership for me, from people who just were like digging through SoundCloud and found it somehow, to all these music fans just that they had collectively, which really helped.
How did the name actually come about initially?
No, it's a terrible story. It was like I was in bands with my friends, like we said, and I wanted to create a new band where it was kind of like me asking people to be in it, rather than just a group of my friends making music, so I could be like more bossy about it. Oh my god. And then I set up all these social media things for like the Eden Project, because I didn't know what kind of music we're going to make, so it was kind of like a project and stuff, and then I figured out about electronic music and just used the same social media. But it wasn't a name. I knew it wasn't a name I wasn't going to keep forever. If it was like a serious, like as a serious like artist project that I wanted to do, I wasn't going to keep that name. I knew I was going to change it, so it wasn't a permanent thing.
Were there a few points in your life that you decided to drop the whole project and just swivel your everything that you did for music?
Yeah, I guess that's just me as a person, because like I think I did the same with like rock music. So when I started off listening to like pop music and stuff, and then rap, and then I started listening to rock music and I got really into heavy rock, so like Gent or like Slipknot or whatever, and then eventually when that stops becoming interesting, it's kind of like, oh, I actually prefer the more melodic or poppy stuff, for want of a better word. So I think I did the same thing with electronic music. I really loved electronic music. It was so interesting and exciting. Then you get to a stage where actually I prefer, like, it would basically go completely left of field and slowly come back to the middle. Because through my whole life there was people like, as I said, Michael Jackson or Queen or Rihanna or just whatever was on the radio that I still loved. So I feel like just from what my first thing that I really loved listening to was a boy band. So I feel like I'm very, in terms of how I like to sing and write songs, it's quite central. But then I do love all these weird and wild subgenres, and so I guess that's what confuses it.
Did you ever have fears of like changing that you're gonna lose some fans or like stuff like that?
Yeah, I think everyone does. But I think that's when you feel like that. That's at least for me, that makes me feel like I'm heading in the right direction and I'm in a good place. Because I've made safe music before. Like I knew people were gonna like this. Yeah. And I didn't really like myself for doing that. So when I was the Eden Project, or even now as Eden, like I've always been kind of blown away by like doing some things that are like, I thought no one was gonna like this, and it's everyone's favorite song. Like XO. Before I released it, I didn't think my fans were gonna like it, because at the time I was just releasing kind of very EDM influenced music, and then this is basically just a pop song. And I thought everyone was gonna be like, oh, this is too poppy, and it was like everyone's like favorite song at the time, which is crazy. So or like other times I've just released a full just orchestral song with no singing, and people have loved that too, which is amazing. And I feel really lucky to have people who, you know, allow me to try new things, because you do see it a lot where people like, oh, this isn't the old whoever that we used to like listening to, or the opposite, where it's like, oh, it sounds the same. You can't win. I feel really lucky to be able to, you know, try new things and explore.
So after you graduated high school, did you just start doing music full time?
No, I actually went to university.
Oh, okay.
I was studying science in university.
Oh, what type?
I was studying physics, maths and chemistry.
Oh, wow.
And then I dropped out. So I guess I kind of stopped going to college after a few weeks.
Within the first year?
Yeah, but like not officially. Like I just stopped turning up. I'd do the homework, so I would still get grades.
Did your parents know about this?
I guess they probably did. It wasn't something we talked about, and I was just doing music a lot. And then after Christmas, there was like the final year exams for that first year of college coming up. It's like, I'm gonna fail all of these, and I don't even want to be doing this. So I went to my parents and was like, guys, I want to drop out. Yeah. And then usual like,
nope.
Like I was not allowed to drop out, and there was a lot of shouting, and it was great. And then the next day after that had happened, they were like, okay, let's sit down and talk about it. I was like, no. Because last time
no convincing.
Yeah, I was like, last time we tried to talk about it, we were shouting at each other. So I said, look, I'll just like write a business plan and you can read it, and we can go from there. So I Googled how to write a business plan, and I wrote one. And then over the course of like a few days, maybe a week, because it was something I was taking really seriously. Yeah. And then I gave it to them. They read it for a few days, and they said, okay, let's sit down and talk about it. And they were like, okay.
Wow.
This is okay. But they wanted me to still go back to college the next year, so I wouldn't just sit in my bedroom making music by myself for like the rest of my life, I guess. Yeah. But then the crazy thing was, that summer was when I released the end credits EP. Everything just kicked off. I was having like, I think there was a 10 or 12 week period where I had multiple meetings with random people in the music industry that I didn't even know. Like people were flying to meet me or flying me out to meet them. Whoa. I had like 12 weeks of multiple meetings every single day.
That's crazy. And then your friends were like, okay.
And and then I just didn't even have time to go to college. And I was like, what the hell?
Oh my gosh.
So I was quite lucky in that regard, whereas when the timing between the decision I made to not do college anymore and when things, I guess, finally like clicked into gear, was really good, because I was really prepared to be kicked out of my house. I was prepared to like do whatever to be able to just do music and not have to just do science. So it turned out pretty well.
And then for Eden, like all the music videos, all your like social media, everything, it's like super cohesive. Is there like a specific like artist, maybe like outside of music, that you looked up to, or
Not
even the
usually.
way the videos were shot?
I don't really know if there's someone I can just pinpoint. I like a lot of things, whether it's like photography or modern art or other people's music or food, or I for some reason really like downhill mountain biking, and I've never done it in my life, but I love watching it. And I feel like that all feeds into what I like to see visually as well as music. But I think what helps to make it feel cohesive is I'm still a megalomaniac about it. So like up until last year when we did those first official music videos, I had made every single video that we had put on like my socials or.
Damn, how did you even like think of all the ideas? Did you just have like? I know it's.
I don't know. I find it really difficult to actually explain most of my ideas most of the time, and I think that's why I just end up doing them, because I was like, I can't tell you what I want to see, so I'll just make it and I'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you watch a lot of films, or?
Yeah, I'm really into movies.
That explains it, because I feel like everything is just shot so well, and like each shot is like I can see everything. Yeah. Like it's all planned out.
Yeah, especially for the start-end music video, that was something that I just had. As soon as I decided I was going to make the music video for it, I was like, I just wanted to shoot it as it is, and I couldn't explain it to anyone. They're like, the label were like, wait, we haven't even seen this music video, what's going on? I was like, oh, don't worry, I've already shot a lot of it and it's going to be fine, but I just couldn't find the words to explain what it is or what it was I wanted to make, and then so that was funny. So the other music videos we made, the directors I worked with, I've actually worked with before, and they're really incredible artists, like visual artists. Yeah. Their attention to detail is ridiculous. Like they do things that I wouldn't even think of if I'd been solely making videos for like 10 years. What they like think, and it's like they call it visual poetry a lot, and I think that's probably the best way to describe it. It blows my mind, so I was so pumped to be able to work with them. Yeah. And in essence, let them do their crazy ideas, but also, I guess I would try and shape it into something that like meets in the middle between what I really love to see. Yeah. And they say a bunch of, and they like all their ideas are just things I would have never thought of, or sometimes it even takes me a while to get on board, because I'm like, this is so not what I was thinking in the first place. Yeah. But it always works. Like, there have been times in the past, not for Eden, but that they've pitched video ideas, and I'm like, okay, I don't really know what that means, but you guys, I like trust them to go make it, and I know it's gonna like blow me away. Yeah. So it was really cool to work with them. Yeah. And has it always been something you like? Sometimes you're not in the videos itself. Yeah. So for the videos, and I Think You Think Too Much of Me, I just didn't want to be in the videos. Aside from, I guess, rock and roll was an idea that I had. But for the other two, we've basically found directors that I liked, and they pitched ideas, and I just said, I have faith in what you guys want to do, go and make. I basically just wanted to make kind of little movies. Yeah. And so that's what we did, but now, and I'm not really opposed to being in the videos anymore. I just feel like it has to like benefit the actual video. I don't want it to be about one thing and then be randomly intercut with me singing to the camera for no reason. Like, I don't have to be in it. This music and this project isn't about me. So it's like, it's not some big ego trip.
Which films were you inspired by?
Shit. I think Lost in Translation is one of my favorite films ever. I watch a lot of old movies too, from like the 40s or 50s. But I guess recently, from last year, Logan Lucky and a Blade Runner were standouts. I think Logan Lucky was probably the best movie of the year, and Blade Runner was like every single frame of that is like so gorgeous, and I really just loved how understated it was, or not understated, but it didn't spoon feed the audience. You were presented with like a lot of situations or things visually, and Ryan Gosling was like oh, I'm angry, I'm gonna go do this. There's no explanation for things like that. It's just the audience is allowed to like make sense of it themselves and kind of take what they want from it. And it was a really interesting exploration on like what it means to be human and stuff. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
But like anything from like Space Odyssey or like, funnily enough, Alfred Hitchcock movies, so like Vertigo or Rear Window and stuff, to like Arrival, I think I saw in the cinema 3 times. Like I'm one of those people, I'll just go to the cinema by myself. I just love movies and the experience of getting like a fat bag of popcorn and sitting and just like taking in this like art form. I love it so much.
And for your album, what kind of like themes did you want to present?
I didn't really, for this album I literally kind of took the opposite approach to, I guess, I didn't sit down and say I want to show this, how will I show it? Every single second on the album I was just thinking, it's got to feel right. So if this goes from like a verse into a chorus and then the chorus is never repeated again in the whole song, but it feels right, that's what I was going to do. Or if the chorus happens again except I just don't sing, I would do that. It was just, I really wanted to kind of be open to I guess whatever inspirations or however the ideas came together, and I didn't want to force it into like a structure or a box because I decided it might be good before I started making the song. It was just following wherever the paintbrush went, actually, which is a quote from Ex Machina. I forget the character in the movie, but Oscar Isaac is talking about a Jackson Pollock painting or something, and he's like, this painting would not be good if the artist had decided or thought about wherever every single stroke on the page. You know, there's one part of art where you just let go and you just see what happens, and you don't try and reshape or refine things into more conventional or just any kind of structure or box. It's just letting your creativity just go. Which was really exciting because it was really fun to get back to doing something more, I guess, exploratory and just dig into like synthesis or the sounds I was using or combining weird sounds or just the way I wrote the song structures and stuff. It was really fun. Yeah.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges so far?
I don't really know. It's hard to pinpoint anything. I feel like I've, like, relatively, in terms of the problems that people can have in life, I've been pretty lucky. Like, I didn't have to, like, overcome some crazy illness or, you know, I wasn't born into, like, dire circumstances, or wasn't, like, my family weren't in poverty and stuff. It's all been pretty good. So, I feel like I'm just a reflective person, and I think my biggest challenges has probably been, I guess, my own doing, or like the way I think about things, and music can suffer from that and help me get through it at the same time. So like sometimes I can't make music because of how I'm feeling and how I am, and other times making music is what gets me over that speed bump.
How do you say you've grown as a person since when you started?
I mean, even since, so I've been thinking about this album and working on it for like 3 years. And I think I feel like it really, the process of making something this like monstrous, because I was almost scared. I'd known how much work I'd put into like EPs with like 4 songs on them, and how long those have taken, the hours I put in. And I was like, I don't want to start an album and then halfway through realize I started it too early and it was like not good enough, and I'll have to redo the start or scrap it. And I also just like wanted it to be like kind of be able to stand up forever or hold up forever. Isn't that good, or the whatever. So just getting to start it took a lot of growing, I think. And then the process and what went on in my life in the last 3-4 years of when I was making it was just quite a roller coaster. It was pretty crazy. So yeah, it's been an incredible process, and at one point it's like difficult to let go of something that's been such a big part of my life for the last few years, but I can't wait to move on at the same time and play it at a live show and create the live show and do all these new things.
Last question, what do you want to be remembered for?
I don't really mind about me. If I can do things or create something or, you know, be there for someone or give people memories that are really nice and, like, you know, give people good times or help whoever. It's like, I don't really... I guess there's two sides of me for that. I would like to be remembered for, like, making good music or whatever, but I would rather that my music had a positive impact and it's almost remembered in that way. Like, you know how a random act of kindness or something can almost have a butterfly effect. People tend to pass on that kind of thing. And if my presence in a room or a conversation or in pop culture through music has that effect on anyone, that's good enough for me. So, because I'm just making this for myself. I'm like writing music as a compulsion that I love doing, and it helps me figure out myself and navigate life. So whatever else is a bonus, I get to do this as a living, so it's good for me.
I love that. Thank you so much. That was really awesome.